Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Pro Wrestling Society. Today, we're going to go over several topics. One being that Jeff Hardy is coming back to wrestling in the WWE after an injury that he had back in. Man, I don't even remember when he had that injury, but the point is, he's coming back. As far as when he'll retire, that remains to be seen. But yeah, pretty much he's coming back to probably the WWE, and yeah, so that's pretty good news. As far as his and speaking of him, I want to go over his TNA run compared to his WWE run. I want to know which do you think which did you like more? I mean, because I like both of them. I like um the one in WWE because he he was well known for his tag team matches and whatnot, and his some of his single matches. But I also liked his TNA run as well because even though he wasn't that big of a tag team kind of guy, I still appreciated his no, excuse me. I appreciated his a lot of his singles matches. So um although I did feel like his time in the WWE was kind of okay, so he was a big star as far as a tag team guy, with the Hardy Boys, but as a standalone guy, it felt like he was just kind of underused and not well established, if you will, not at the very top of of the roster. And I felt, yeah, he might have had a great match with Matt Hardy, but that was about it. And versus TNA, he was at the top, the yeah, he was in a whole bunch of main events and wrestling guys like Sting, um, Bully Ray, Austin Aries, guys like that, and Matt Hardy as well. Even though I didn't like the Hogan era, but I will admit that Jeff Hardy was pretty talented at anything really, whether it be it was tag teams or as a singles competitor. And I felt like in TNA we really got to see how talented he was as a singles competitor than at TNA. I mean WWE. Um, um, but in WWE we got to see him more as what he could really do um, as a tag team competitor. So, although I do feel like maybe in the WWE he had more memorable matches than in TNA, but that's just me. I got to be honest with that. So, yeah, that's pretty much my overview. And also with the feuds, I think he had more memorable feuds in WWE than he did at TNA. I felt like with TNA, it was kind of recycled with with the whole broken gimmick and whatnot, and It just didn't stand out to me that much. So yeah, let me know. What do you think about it? I mean, let me know in the comments below. And I want to address the John Cena haters, because this has been bugging me for quite a long time. I don't know where the Cena hate started, but um, probably started around like 2006. I don't know, when he first came on the scene, and um, I think the main reason why people hate him is because he's uh he's a top guy, but he WWE keeps pushing him, and they keep giving him the belts and whatnot and titles. Um, and he keeps supposedly he keeps winning, even though he doesn't. I mean, if you look at his record, he wins most of the time, but not all the time. Like, it's pretty balanced out. I'd say that he wins um all the time, if you will, but I mean, it's the PG era, so it's garbage regardless. um I don't think he's I mean, do you think he's overrated or underrated, or what is your stance on that? Um I think he deserves where he's at right now. I don't think he's um overrated per se. At least not during the Ruthless Aggression era and past eras. Um Now it seems like he's just overhyped. But back then, I mean, he was pretty skilled on the mic. He was a great entertainer, uh, a solid performer. He did everything right, pretty much. Um, he was uh, pretty much the top guy as far as gimmicks go, and as far as the way he walked, the way he presented himself, the way he carried the titles and whatnot. I mean, you could just see the charisma, the pride. Um, he had a catchy slogan, the catchy theme song, "My Time Is Now," and a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, he just worked so hard at that, and I mean, he produced that song himself. And his spinner belt. I guess that was that idea. I mean, his idea, and came up with his own whatchamacallit, that hand gesture. Um, I mean, just look at his body. He freaking carries, like, he can carry like um a whole bunch of wrestlers in freaking fu, and his moves. Even though he has 5 moves, what they call the 5 moves of doom, but they're pretty solid. They're pretty memorable. So yeah, I think that the hate is just totally undeserved, because John Cena is mainstream material, and he can make you laugh, like, at least back in the day, with when he started rap battling people and freestyling and whatnot, and uh and yeah, he could be a big douchebag, or a good face, whichever. Um, so yeah, I think that just the hate is just needs to stop, and people should appreciate John Cena for who he is, and but of course that's up to them. I mean, can't really force them to, but I think that the hate is pointed at the wrong direction. I think that people should hate on Vince McMahon or somebody who hate on the people who keep pushing him to the top overboard to a point where he's he's just being shoved down our throats. So I mean, but take it or leave it. It's at the end of the day, That's just my thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think. Subscribe to my podcast, my channel. Like this video, and peace.